Welcome back to Axis Anime. My name is Henshin Ikeda, and today I'll be doing a walkthrough review of Maoyuu Maou Yuusha Episode 5. Now, if you remember from last episode, we find out the negotiations between Mao and the Alliance merchants has gone perfect. However, one of the Alliance merchants is now in love with Mao. Really? This cannot be good, but I can't wait to see how this is going to end. However, we are taken to a different scene with Yusha. Now, Yusha has been sending random letters, to Mao in general about what he's been doing and what he's been up to. At the same time, Yusha's been hiding in the mansion from Mao in general because he is scared emotionally of Mao. Really? I mean, come on, Mao is an attractive woman and you're scared of her emotionally? At the same time, he does feel a little useless because apparently he doesn't believe he can bring anything to the table for Mao. All he knows how to do is fight. I mean, that's all he really knows how to do. However, we are taken to a different scene toward the end of the episode. Now, we do find out one of the maids in the mansion wants to learn to fight from the nun. Now, apparently she wants to feel more human, and she feels if she can learn how to fight, she can feel more human. And again, that's where the episode ends. And I'll hold my final thought and rating at the end of the clip, so stay tuned. But let's dive right on in. So we open up this episode. Now we're in a different location. Apparently we're at the Holy Capital. Now apparently the church actually devises a plan to retake Bright Light Island. And if you forget about what Bright Light Island really means, or what it is, apparently it's been controlled by the demons. So the demons have taken over the Bright Light Island, and it's apparently the only foothold that the demons have in the human world. Just putting that out there, but again, that's where we open up with. Now we are taken to a different scene. Now apparently we see 200 warships, if that makes any sense. Literally, we see 200 ships, and they're being prepped to take over Bright Light Island. So I thought that was definitely worth mentioning, and apparently they are getting ready to leave for Bright Light Island. So we are taken to a different scene with Yusha. Now there's been a little information that's being thrown at us. So where is Yusha? What is he up to? So apparently he actually saves a girl at an inn. Now he's actually in Gate City. And he randomly just walks into an inn and he sees this little girl, well, a woman in general, she's a demon, and she's being bullied around by all of these, humans, and she is a waitress. Now it's being thrown at Yusha's attention that apparently the Crusade of the Holy Keys troops actually are taking over the Gate City, so they run Gate City in general, because apparently they conquered Gate City. So I thought, okay, so that was interesting. However, there are 4 different armies that enter this little town, and they do it on a rotating basis. Now the end result being that the Eastern Fortress is the only kind area for demons. So I'll just say this one more time. The Eastern Fortress is the only real location that's being nice to demons right now, after the fall of the Gate City. So I just thought that was worth mentioning as well. I mean, little information there I liked hearing. So we are taken to a different scene with the 200 ships that are being prepped for battle to leave for Bright Light Island. Now apparently we see the Winter King, and he's really kind. I really like this guy. However, we don't really get to know a lot about him because I'll get into that later why. However, we are introduced to the Winter King in general, and he is really kind. However, he's about to meet up with, I guess, the White Night King and all of the rest of the forces so they can take over the Bright Light Island. So I was like, okay. However, they're attacked randomly. Just literally, they were attacked randomly. They're in the middle of the sea, and they're attacked randomly by octopuses. Yeah, giant octopus. I thought they were squids. My bad. They're giant octopuses, and they're giant, really huge ones. And apparently all of the Winter King's vessels, all these ships, are dropping like flies. They're being destroyed left and right. I'm like, I feel bad for this guy because he was so nice. And I was like, it's just horrible, but all the ships are being destroyed. So we are taken to a different scene. Now apparently, you sitting down? Okay, here's the damage report. And I was kind of shocked to hear the damage report. Apparently all 200 ships have been destroyed. That's 6,000 soldiers. They're now dead just because of this little attack. And apparently the Winter King, he's dead. I was like, we just got introduced to this guy, and he's dead. And guess what? All those nobles, the rest of the aristocrats, they could care less. They really do not care. And I was like, really? I mean, this was a Winter King, a sovereign, and he died, and you don't care. You're just playing the blame game right now on whose fault it is. So, moving on past that, now we do see the Winter King's son, which is the prince, and he does feel really terrible of what's happened. So instead of sitting down and taking it, we see the Winter King's son step up and take the Winter King's title. So now he is the new king, the new sovereign. And right off the bat, he does promises that he wants to carry out a second plan to retake the Bright Light Island. I was like, really? Okay, well, I mean, the prince, he looked even more kinder than his father, but he really doesn't look like he wants to fight. I mean, he really doesn't look like the type that wants to start this whole fight up, but I think he's trying to get revenge over his father's death. At the same time, he's actually trying to save face value between the other nobles, because I mean, if he doesn't do something now, they're going to take all the funding away from his country. So I mean, now's the time to step up and do something. So we're going to take it to a different scene. Now, apparently, the new Winter King, he needs a new commanding officer. Now, I believe it's the nun. That's who he was talking to, but it wasn't really said. You know, we don't know if it's going to be the nun, which is, you know, Yusha's companion, but it looks like the new commander of his army is going to be the nun. At least in my eyes, that's what it appears to be. Now, we are taken to a different scene with Mao. Now, Mao, out of nowhere, decides, you know what, the nun, she's getting ready to head to war. And I was like, yeah, so what's the big deal? Mao, you opened up your mouth, and you said you were the Demon King. Just when, you know, this nun was about to leave. Why? I just could not believe this. Now, however, there's an interesting little catch here. The nun, she actually hears the Demon King's confession. She's like, yeah, I'll hear your confession, because you know what? I'm the nun. I'm the head nun. I'll hear your confession. And then out of nowhere, this is the nun. She's like, you know what? Sin forgiven. I mean, you didn't choose to become the Demon King. It just happened. I mean, you haven't done anything wrong. Really, I mean, you just lied. That's the only thing you've done to me. The only thing you've done wrong by me was that you lied. So, you know what? Sin forgiven. I'm like, huh? It was that simple? So apparently she doesn't like annoying rituals. This is coming from the nun. She doesn't like annoying rituals, so she's like, you know what? You lied? That's okay. I'm the nun. You're forgiven. It's like, wow, so simple. And apparently now Mao and the nun have become friends. And I still wish I knew what the name of the nun was, because no one's calling her by her real name. They're just calling her the nun, you know, so on and so forth. Whatever other titles you can pull out of your ass, you know. But anyways, that ends that scene. So we're taken to a different scene with Yusha. Now this is the flashback of why the nun was able to forgive, you know, Mao in general. So apparently, you know, Yusha, he actually tells his companion, which is the nun, that, you know, Mao is the dark, well, literally, she is the Demon King. And I was like, okay, what's gonna happen? Apparently, he also tells, you know, this nun that, you know what, she's not bad. You know, Mao, she's a good person. So I guess this is why the nun was so nice to Mao, how she was able to forgive her. Like, okay. Now we're taking to a different scene in a different part of the mansion later on that day. Now apparently everyone is leaving for the New Year's festival except for Mao. Mao actually wants to stay behind, you know, she doesn't want to do anything special. And we are taken to a different scene with Mao. She's in her bedroom and she's thinking about Yusha. Now apparently it's been 1 year since she's seen Yusha before he actually teleported to the demon world and whatnot. So it's been 1 year? Whoa, where the hell have I been? 1 year? We've missed everything in between. It's already been a 1 year time skip. 1 year time skip already. I'm not liking this at all. But anyways, sorry, I digress. It's been 1 year. And again, she hasn't seen Yusha at all. She's just been reading all the letters she's been getting from him. And out of nowhere, you sit down, Yusha appears. He's like, hey Mao, what's up? Or should I say, you know, Demon King. He keeps calling her the Demon King instead of calling her Mao. So it's annoying the hell out of me. Just putting that out there. But anyways, Yusha appears in Mao's bedroom randomly. And, you know, Mao, she's kind of pissed off. She's like, you wrote to me, that's nice, but, you know, you could have visited. So she's beating the crap out of Yusha. I'm like, this is funny. I just love watching this. Now, I should point out right now that apparently Yusha is telling Mao that, you know, he was at Gate City and he doesn't like what he's been seeing. And he's been trying to help the people or the demons at Gate City to try to rise up or, you know, to help them out in general. It's like, okay, so she feels a little remorse. However, we are taken to a different scene. Now, this scene was hilarious in my opinion. It's the remark. The worst remark that Yusha can tell Mao. I was like, he calls, you know, the Demon King, you know, you're the flabby Demon King. I'm like, you did not just say that about Mao. You called her the flabby Demon King. Are you serious? Really, Yusha? This is one of the most, I don't know how to say this. Mao, she's an amazing, attractive character, and you call her the flabby Demon King? What the hell, man? You wake up on the wrong side of the bed? This is Mao we're talking about, the Demon King. And you call her the flabby Demon King. Yeah, they're having a couple's quarrel. Or should I say a lover's quarrel right now. They're yelling back and forth. I'm like, okay. Now eventually we hear the New Year's festival music outside. And it calms them down. And Yusha basically asks Mao, do you want to dance? This is my gift to you. Let's dance. So they're teleported to a different location and they start dancing. And when the music dies down, they're about to kiss. And then it stops. And they don't kiss. I'm like, come on. The buildup was they were gonna kiss, so this kind of pisses me off. But again, we end that scene there. Now we actually do a different scene with Yusha, and he's actually telling Mao, I'm gonna take back Gate City in 1 month. So he's got a goal in mind. At the same time, Mao tells Yusha, I'm going to be at the sea. Now when she says that, I don't know if it's something wrong with the subtitles when I heard this, but she said she's going to be at the sea and she's going to meet, Yusha on the battlefield per se. First thing that comes to mind is she's going to Bright Light Island. That's the first thing that comes to mind when she said the sea. And again, that's where the episode ends. And well, more or less, that's where the episode ends. But I was hoping for more. But again, that's where the episode ends. As for final thoughts, well, I was hoping for more for this episode, obviously, because when I ended this episode, like, maybe there's going to be something past the credits, but no, there really wasn't. So final thoughts. Well, first of all, is Mao going to be heading to Bright Light Island? Is she going to be doing anything about the new Winter King? What's going to happen there? As for Yusha, you said you were going to try to take over the Gate City. Well, take it back in 1 month. What are you going to do with it after you take it over? Are you going to free the demons? Are you going to, what are you going to do? We don't really know. I mean, the only thing we know about, the Gate City is that the Eastern Fortress, which isn't that far away, is kind of more kinder toward demon. Are you going to try to free the demons and bring them to the Eastern Fortress? We really don't know. But again, that ends it for, my final thoughts. Not a lot there. As for my rating, 3.5 out of 5. I give this a 3.5 out of 5. Okay, the romance was there, the drama and romance. I loved it. See, I'm smiling. But for the fighting, okay, we got ripped off so much that I'm just pissed. Because you know what? There's this battle, with the Winter King and going to Bright Light Island. And we're just introduced to this king, and he dies. And we don't even get to see this whole fight. It was just the octopus jump right in, these giant octopuses, and they kill 200 ships, 6,000 soldiers, and that's it. No fight scene. So yes, I feel ripped off majorly. Was there any information being thrown at us? Yes, but not a lot, so don't get your hopes up there. But again, final rating, 3.5 out of 5. And that ends it for my walkthrough review of Maoyuu Maou Yuusha episode 5. Definitely comment down below, let me know, thumbs up, thumbs down, definitely subscribe, check me out on Twitter, and follow me if you like. But let me know what you thought of this episode, and let me know what you think's going to happen in the next episode that's coming out. But again, guys, that ends it for now, and I gotta go. There's nothing out yet on my anime that I've been checked. I've been refreshing my anime pages for Fairy Tail and everything else, so there's nothing out yet. So maybe later on tonight, hopefully, there'll be something out. But until then, guys, I gotta go. I gotta hit the bricks, and before I go, I gotta say it, and I always say it. You can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.